On March 24, 1944, the skies over Germany witnessed an extraordinary display of aerial combat prowess that would be etched into the annals of military aviation history. A single United States Army Air Forces pilot, flying a P-51 Mustang, embarked on what was initially a routine patrol mission. This flight would soon transform into a relentless contest of skill, endurance, and tactical acumen against a formidable enemy air presence. The pilot engaged a substantial formation of enemy aircraft, consisting of both fighters and bombers, and through a series of meticulously executed maneuvers, succeeded in downing an unprecedented number of enemy planes, 20 in a single day. Such a feat was not merely an act of individual heroism, but a demonstration of the profound impact that one pilot could have on the broader air war. The mission commenced with the pilot's unit tasked with escorting Allied bombers on a strike mission deep into German territory. Throughout the early hours of the sortie, the pilot maintained vigilance, scanning the expansive sky for signs of enemy activity. The initial engagement occurred when the formation encountered a large contingent of Luftwaffe aircraft, intent on disrupting the bomber stream and inflicting maximum damage. The enemy formation was composed of experienced fighter pilots flying Messerschmitt Bf-109s and Focke-Wulf FW-190s, alongside heavily armed Junkers Ju-88 bombers. This mix presented a complex tactical challenge. Fighters provided protective cover while bombers sought to complete their destructive objective. Amid this volatile environment, the pilot demonstrated extraordinary situational awareness. Recognizing the vulnerabilities inherent in the enemy formation, he exploited gaps in their defensive perimeter to initiate aggressive attacks. The initial strikes focused on isolating and neutralizing enemy fighters to reduce their protective screen around the bombers. Employing diving attacks from advantageous altitudes, the pilot capitalized on the P-51 Mustang's superior speed and maneuverability. These attacks were calculated with precision timing to maximize the element of surprise and minimize exposure to return fire. The intensity of the engagements escalated as the pilot moved through the enemy ranks. Each successful interception was followed by rapid repositioning to engage subsequent targets. Over the course of several hours, the pilot's relentless offensive dismantled the cohesion of the enemy formation. Through a combination of tactical ingenuity and exceptional marksmanship, he systematically reduced the enemy's numerical advantage. The feat of downing 20 enemy aircraft in a single day was remarkable not only in its scale, but also in the sustained focus and endurance required. Fatigue, both mental and physical, posed significant challenges, yet the pilot maintained clarity of thought and precision throughout the extended combat period. The psychological impact of such a dominant performance was profound. Enemy pilots found themselves increasingly disoriented and demoralized as their numbers dwindled. The surprise and ferocity of the attacks disrupted their operational objectives and forced a disorganized retreat. Meanwhile, the pilot's wingmen and the broader Allied forces observed the engagement with a mixture of awe and inspiration. Witnessing a solitary figure take on overwhelming odds and emerge victorious challenged prevailing assumptions about the limitations of individual combatants in large-scale air battles. It underscored the critical importance of pilot skill, tactical innovation, and the effective use of aircraft capabilities. This day's combat also highlighted the evolving nature of air warfare in the European theater. The airspace above Germany was a fiercely contested battleground where technological advancements and pilot training converged to produce high-stakes encounters. The P-51 Mustang, with its extended range and advanced armament, had become a pivotal asset in escort missions, allowing Allied forces to penetrate deeper into enemy territory with greater protection. The pilot's success was intimately tied to these technological advantages, yet it was his mastery of aerial tactics that ultimately determined the outcome. The engagement demonstrated how individual proficiency could amplify the effectiveness of superior equipment, even against numerically superior enemy formations. Throughout the engagement, the pilot exhibited an extraordinary capacity to adapt to rapidly changing conditions. Enemy aircraft employed varied tactics, from coordinated group attacks to evasive maneuvers designed to exploit perceived weaknesses. The pilot countered each with calculated responses, altering angles of attack, modulating speed to conserve energy, and leveraging altitude to maintain positional advantage. This dynamic interplay of tactics required not only technical flying skills, but also an acute understanding of air combat principles. The pilot's ability to anticipate enemy moves and respond decisively was a defining characteristic of his performance. Moreover, the pilot's actions had strategic implications beyond the immediate tactical victories. By decimating a significant portion of the enemy air contingent, he contributed to the broader Allied air campaign objectives. The disruption of enemy formations curtailed their ability to mount effective counterattacks against bomber streams, thereby enhancing the protection of Allied ground forces and industrial targets. The psychological effect on both sides was equally significant. Allied morale was bolstered by the demonstration of air superiority, while the Luftwaffe faced mounting challenges in regrouping and maintaining operational effectiveness. The particular conditions of the day, weather, visibility, and the scale of the engagement further accentuated the difficulty of the pilot's accomplishment. Combat missions over enemy territory were fraught with hazards beyond enemy fire, including navigational challenges and the ever-present risk of mechanical failure. The pilot's resourcefulness in managing these risks while engaging multiple adversaries underscored a high degree of professionalism and resilience. Each kill required precise execution under pressure, with no margin for error. This unparalleled day of aerial combat did not go unnoticed by the pilot's superiors and peers. Recognition came not only through official commendations, but also through the lasting impact on tactical doctrine. Reports and debriefings emphasized the importance of aggressive yet calculated engagement strategies, the value of maintaining energy advantage, and the critical role of individual initiative. The pilot's experience became a case study in maximizing the combat potential of the P-51 Mustang and refining escort tactics that would be disseminated throughout the U.S. Army Air Forces. What transpired on that day would forever influence the perception of air combat's possibilities. It shattered the notion that only large formations could dictate outcomes and highlighted how a single, highly skilled pilot could alter the balance of power in the most intense of aerial battles. The achievement was not merely a tally of downed aircraft but a testament to the convergence of training, technology, and tactical brilliance under the crucible of combat. In sum, the events of March 24, 1944, stand as a vivid illustration of individual heroism within the broader context of World War II air operations. The pilot's relentless engagement against overwhelming odds set a new standard for fighter pilots and demonstrated the decisive impact that superior skill and determination could have on the air war. His actions that day reverberated far beyond the immediate battlefield, influencing future tactics and inspiring generations of aviators who understood that mastery of the skies depended as much on the human element as on the machines they flew. The remarkable success of the pilot on that fateful day was not solely the result of superior aircraft technology or sheer audacity. It was fundamentally rooted in exceptional tactical brilliance and combat skills honed through rigorous training and battlefield experience. The pilot's ability to maintain extraordinary situational awareness amidst the chaos of a large-scale aerial engagement proved to be one of the most critical factors in his unprecedented achievement. In the rapidly shifting environment of air combat, where seconds determine survival or destruction, the capacity to accurately assess the positions and intentions of multiple enemy aircraft was indispensable. Situational awareness, in this context, extended beyond mere observation. It involved an acute mental mapping of enemy formations, identifying weak points, and predicting potential threats before they fully materialized. The pilot's keen perception enabled him to pinpoint vulnerabilities within the enemy formation, such as gaps in fighter coverage or isolated bombers vulnerable to attack, and exploit these with precision. This skill required a combination of visual acuity, quick cognitive processing, and comprehensive understanding of enemy tactics. The pilot's capacity to synthesize this information in real time allowed him to make informed decisions that maximize the effectiveness of each engagement. Integral to these tactical successes was the mastery of specific aerial combat maneuvers. The pilot employed diving attacks, a tactic that capitalized on gravitational acceleration to increase speed rapidly and gain kinetic energy advantage over adversaries. Diving from altitude not only provided a surprise element, but also enabled the pilot to engage enemy aircraft at a moment when they were less prepared to counterattack. Such attacks demanded precise timing and control. Miscalculating the dive angle or entry point could expose the attacker to defensive fire or result in loss of energy needed for subsequent maneuvers. Energy management, a core principle in fighter tactics, was central to the pilot's approach throughout the day's engagements. Maintaining an optimal balance between speed, altitude, and maneuvering capacity ensured that the pilot could dictate the terms of combat. By conserving energy during less critical phases and expending it decisively during attacks, the pilot avoided becoming vulnerable to counterattacks or losing positional advantage. This strategic use of energy allowed for rapid repositioning, enabling the pilot to engage multiple targets sequentially without succumbing to fatigue or tactical disadvantage. Precision shooting complemented these tactical maneuvers. The pilot's marksmanship was characterized by carefully judged bursts of fire aimed at critical components of enemy aircraft, such as engines and control surfaces, to maximize the probability of a kill with minimal ammunition expenditure. This precision was essential in the high-stress environment of dogfighting, where haphazard firing could deplete valuable resources and reveal the attacker's position. Effective gunnery required a steady hand, accurate lead calculation, and the ability to compensate for variables such as target speed, range, and evasive maneuvers. Beyond technical skills, the pilot's psychological composure under pressure played a decisive role in his success. Air combat is inherently chaotic and disorienting, with multiple threats emerging simultaneously and the constant risk of sudden death. The ability to remain calm, focused, and methodical amid such conditions allowed the pilot to execute complex tactical sequences without hesitation. This mental resilience was crucial in sustaining effectiveness over several hours of continuous engagement, where momentary lapses could result in catastrophic consequences. Adaptability further distinguished the pilot's combat approach. Enemy tactics varied widely, from coordinated formation flying to aggressive individual attacks and evasive maneuvers designed to disrupt targeting. The pilot's capacity to rapidly assess and adjust tactics in response to these evolving threats ensured that he maintained the initiative. Whether shifting from offensive diving attacks to defensive roles or modifying attack angles to exploit enemy blind spots, this flexibility was a hallmark of his operational excellence. The pilot's tactical brilliance was also reflected in his use of the P-51 Mustang's strengths to their fullest extent. Understanding the aircraft's aerodynamic capabilities, optimal speed ranges, and weapons systems allowed him to tailor his combat style accordingly. The Mustang's superior speed and maneuverability were leveraged not just for pursuit, but also for disengagement when necessary, preserving combat endurance. The pilot's intimate knowledge of his aircraft's limitations and advantages informed every decision, from positioning to engagement timing. Coordination with wingmen and broader unit tactics, although not the primary focus of this individual accomplishment, played a supportive role in maintaining situational awareness and providing opportunities for attack. The pilot's communication and teamwork ensured that he could concentrate on high-value targets and exploit openings created by collective maneuvers. This interplay between individual initiative and unit cohesion exemplified effective air combat doctrine of the period. The cumulative effect of these tactical elements was a sequence of engagements that unfolded with remarkable efficiency and lethality. The pilot's ability to engage, destroy, and disengage repeatedly without succumbing to fatigue or enemy retaliation demonstrated a mastery of air combat seldom witnessed at such a scale. Each kill was the product of deliberate tactical planning executed with precision, rather than mere opportunism or luck. This mastery of aerial tactics had broader implications for the understanding of air combat during World War II. It underscored the necessity of comprehensive pilot training, emphasizing not only flying proficiency but also the development of cognitive skills such as situational awareness, decision-making under pressure, and tactical flexibility. The pilot's performance illustrated that technological superiority alone was insufficient. Without the accompanying skill and tactical insight, even the most advanced aircraft could be rendered vulnerable. Moreover, this case highlighted the evolving nature of air combat doctrines, which increasingly recognized the importance of energy management and precision engagements over traditional dogfighting brawls. The pilot's tactics reflected an advanced understanding of these principles, setting a precedent for subsequent fighter operations. The ability to maintain energy advantage, execute surprise attacks, and precisely target critical enemy components became central tenets of effective air combat strategy. The pilot's example also illuminated the psychological dimensions of aerial warfare. Confidence derived from tactical success reinforced morale and combat effectiveness, while demoralizing and disrupting enemy pilots' cohesion. The integration of tactical skill, mental resilience, and technological advantage created a force multiplier effect that extended beyond the immediate kills to influence the broader operational context. In sum, the pilot's tactical brilliance was a synthesis of advanced aerial combat techniques, mental discipline, and adaptive decision-making. These factors combined to produce a performance that not only achieved an extraordinary tally of aerial victories, but also advanced the understanding of how individual skill and tactical innovation could decisively influence the outcome of air engagements. This episode remains a testament to the critical role of pilot expertise in the complex and dynamic environment of World War II air combat. The pilot's extraordinary success on that day was intrinsically linked not only to his tactical acumen, but also to the significant technological advantages afforded by the aircraft he piloted, the P-51 Mustang. This fighter represented a pivotal evolution in World War II aviation technology, and its capabilities played a decisive role in shaping the combat environment in which the pilot operated. The Mustang's combination of speed, maneuverability, range, and firepower provided a substantial edge over many of the enemy aircraft he confronted, enabling him to dictate the terms of engagement with unprecedented effectiveness. At the heart of the Mustang's advantage was its exceptional speed. Powered by the Packard-built Rolls-Royce Merlin engine, the P-51 Mustang could achieve top speeds exceeding 440 miles per hour at altitude, outpacing many Luftwaffe fighters such as the Bf-109 and Fw-190. This speed superiority was not merely a statistical figure, it translated directly into tactical flexibility. The pilot could choose when to engage or disengage, using bursts of acceleration to close distances rapidly or to evade counterattacks. Speed permitted a level of control over the fight that was critical in the fluid and fast-paced environment of aerial combat. Equally important was the Mustang's superior maneuverability. Its aerodynamic design, featuring laminar flow wings and a streamlined fuselage, allowed for tight turns and responsive control inputs. This agility enabled the pilot to execute complex aerial maneuvers, such as high-speed dives, sharp turns, and rapid climbs, effectively outmatching many enemy aircraft. The combination of speed and maneuverability allowed the pilot to maintain positional advantage, a vital factor in dogfighting where positioning often determines survival or victory. The aircraft's extended range was another critical factor that enhanced operational capability. Equipped with long-range external fuel tanks, the P-51 Mustang could escort Allied bombers deep into enemy territory, far beyond the reach of earlier escort fighters. This range advantage not only bolstered bomber protection, but also increased the opportunities for pilots to engage enemy aircraft in their own airspace, disrupting enemy operations directly. The pilot's ability to operate at such distances without the immediate threat of running low on fuel added a strategic dimension to his combat effectiveness. Firepower was an additional key component of the Mustang's superiority. Armed typically with 6.50 caliber M2 Browning machine guns, the aircraft delivered a potent volume of fire capable of inflicting severe damage on both fighters and bombers. The pilot's skill in precision shooting was complemented by this armament, allowing for lethal bursts that could disable critical components of enemy aircraft with efficiency. This firepower, combined with the pilot's tactical use of energy and positioning, maximized the likelihood of successful kills while minimizing exposure to enemy fire. The synergy between the pilot's capabilities and the Mustang's technological attributes was further enhanced by coordination with ground-based radar installations and wingmen. Ground radar provided early warning of enemy formations and tracked their movements, enabling the pilot to position himself advantageously before engagement. This integration of technology and tactics exemplified the evolving nature of air combat, where information dominance became as crucial as physical superiority. Wingmen played a supportive role by extending the pilot's situational awareness and providing mutual protection. Their presence allowed the lead pilot to focus on offensive maneuvers while trusting in the defensive coverage of his comrades. This teamwork, facilitated by advanced radio communications, created a dynamic and flexible combat unit capable of adapting to rapidly changing scenarios. The pilot's leadership and coordination with wingmen ensured that technological advantages were fully exploited in a cohesive tactical framework. The P-51 Mustang's superiority was not absolute, however, and the pilot faced significant challenges from enemy aircraft that were themselves formidable. The Luftwaffe's fighters were known for their ruggedness, firepower, and experienced crews. Despite these threats, the Mustang's combination of speed, range, and maneuverability often allowed pilots to engage on their own terms, avoiding prolonged engagements where the enemy's strengths could be fully brought to bear. The pilot's understanding of his aircraft's capabilities enabled him to leverage its strengths while mitigating vulnerabilities. Moreover, the Mustang's advanced design included innovations that enhanced pilot survivability and combat endurance. Its robust airframe and self-sealing fuel tanks reduced the risk of catastrophic damage from enemy fire. The cockpit's ergonomic layout and improved visibility enhanced the pilot's ability to maintain situational awareness and execute complex maneuvers under stress. These design elements, though less conspicuous than speed or firepower, contributed significantly to sustained combat effectiveness. The technological edge provided by the P-51 Mustang had profound strategic implications. It enabled the Allied air forces to maintain sustained pressure on German industrial and military targets by ensuring bomber formations were protected deep into hostile airspace. This protection disrupted Luftwaffe operations, forcing the enemy to allocate more resources to defensive missions and reducing their offensive capabilities. The pilot's individual success must therefore be understood within the context of a broader operational advantage created by technological innovation. In the tactical realm, the Mustang allowed the pilot to implement advanced engagement techniques that capitalized on the aircraft's performance envelope. For example, the ability to initiate high-speed diving attacks from altitude exploited the Mustang's structural strength and power, enabling rapid strike-and-climb tactics that minimized exposure to enemy fire. The aircraft's agility permitted quick adjustments in response to enemy maneuvers, preserving energy and positional advantage throughout the engagements. The pilot's exploitation of these technological advantages was not incidental. It reflected a deep understanding of both his own aircraft and those of the enemy. This knowledge informed decisions about when to engage, how to position relative to enemy aircraft, and when to disengage. The interaction between pilot skill and aircraft capability created a force multiplier effect, each enhancing the other to produce combat outcomes that neither could achieve alone. Furthermore, the integration of technological innovation with tactical doctrine represented a significant evolution in aerial warfare. The Mustang's capabilities challenged previous limitations on range and performance, reshaping the strategic landscape of the European air war. The pilot's actions on that day demonstrated the practical application of these advancements in a combat scenario, validating the investment in cutting-edge aircraft development and pilot training. This synergy between man and machine also highlighted the importance of continuous adaptation. As enemy aircraft evolved and tactics shifted, the P-51 Mustang and its pilots had to remain flexible, constantly refining tactics to maintain superiority. The pilot's ability to leverage his aircraft's strengths while navigating the complexities of enemy formations was emblematic of this adaptive approach. In essence, the technological superiority of the P-51 Mustang provided the pilot with tools that, when combined with exceptional skill and tactical insight, enabled a level of combat effectiveness that was transformative. The aircraft's advanced design features, speed, maneuverability, range, and firepower, were not mere statistics but practical enablers of strategic and tactical dominance. The pilot's mastery of these capabilities allowed him to impose his will upon the battlefield, achieving a remarkable tally of aerial victories that underscored the critical role of technology in modern air combat. The pilot's extraordinary feat on that day extended beyond individual accomplishment. It had a profound impact on the broader air war, and notably influenced morale among Allied airmen and ground forces. The ability of a single fighter pilot to dismantle a significant portion of enemy aircraft in one engagement was not only tactically significant, but also strategically resonant, shifting perceptions about air superiority and the effectiveness of Allied air operations over contested European skies. Morale, a critical yet often intangible factor in warfare, experienced a considerable uplift as news of the pilot's success spread. Among Allied airmen, the achievement became a source of inspiration and confidence, reinforcing the belief that skill, training, and advanced technology could decisively overcome numerical or positional disadvantages. This psychological boost was particularly vital in the context of the intense and often grueling air campaigns of World War II, where pilots faced constant threats and high casualty rates. The realization that an individual could exert such influence over the course of battle invigorated units and contributed to a collective sense of determination. Ground forces and support personnel also derived encouragement from the pilot's accomplishments. The protection provided by fighter escorts was essential to the success of bombing missions that targeted enemy infrastructure, supply lines, and military installations. By dramatically reducing the threat posed by enemy interceptors, the pilot's actions directly supported the effectiveness of these strategic operations. This interplay between air superiority and ground campaign success underscored the interconnected nature of multi-domain warfare and highlighted the importance of air combat victories in achieving broader military objectives. The pilot's disruption of enemy bombing runs was another critical aspect of his impact. The Luftwaffe's operational capacity was impaired by the loss of numerous aircraft and experienced pilots in the engagement. This attrition weakened their ability to mount concentrated attacks against Allied targets, thereby diminishing the overall threat to bomber formations and ground installations. The destruction inflicted upon such a large number of enemy aircraft in a single day forced the Luftwaffe to reconsider their defensive strategies and allocate additional resources to counter Allied air dominance, stretching their already strained capabilities. Strategically, the pilot's success contributed to the incremental erosion of German air power during a pivotal phase of the war. The Allied strategic air campaign aimed to achieve air superiority as a prerequisite for successful ground operations and to cripple Germany's industrial output. Each enemy aircraft destroyed represented not only a tactical victory, but a cumulative degradation of the Luftwaffe's operational readiness. The pilot's actions on that day accelerated this process by effectively removing 20 enemy aircraft from the order of battle, a significant attrition rate that reverberated through enemy command structures. The psychological ramifications extended beyond the immediate tactical sphere. The pilot's demonstration of air superiority served as a tangible manifestation of Allied technological and training advantages. For Allied forces, it validated their investment in advanced aircraft like the P-51 Mustang and the rigorous pilot training programs that emphasized tactical innovation and adaptability. This validation reinforced a culture of excellence and continuous improvement within the U.S. Army Air Forces, promoting doctrines that emphasized aggressive engagement and mastery of air combat principles. Conversely, the Luftwaffe faced the demoralizing reality of losing airmen and aircraft at an unsustainable rate. The loss of experienced pilots was particularly detrimental, as training replacements to the same level of proficiency proved increasingly difficult as the war progressed. The psychological strain of confronting highly skilled adversaries capable of inflicting severe losses in single engagements undermined the confidence of German aircrews and challenged their operational cohesion. The pilot's success thus contributed indirectly to a decline in enemy morale and combat effectiveness. This episode also underscored the critical importance of maintaining air superiority in the broader strategic context. Control of the skies over Europe was essential for the success of ground campaigns, logistical operations, and the protection of civilian populations from aerial bombardment. By neutralizing significant enemy air threats, the pilot's actions helped secure the operational environment for Allied forces, facilitating subsequent advances across multiple fronts. The pilot's accomplishment became emblematic of the evolving nature of air warfare, where individual skill and technological superiority could decisively influence large-scale operations. It challenged traditional notions that air combat outcomes were primarily determined by numerical strength or mass formations. Instead, it highlighted the potential for highly trained pilots, equipped with superior aircraft and employing innovative tactics, to achieve disproportionate effects on the battlefield. Furthermore, the widespread dissemination of the pilot's story served to inspire not only contemporaries but also future generations of aviators. It underscored the value of rigorous training, discipline, and tactical creativity, qualities that remain central to modern Air Force doctrines worldwide. The pilot's experience reinforced the principle that individual initiative, when combined with technological advantage and effective command support, could shape the course of aerial engagements and, by extension, the broader war effort. In operational terms, the engagement revealed the vulnerabilities inherent in enemy formations that failed to adapt adequately to the evolving threats posed by advanced Allied fighters. The disintegration of the enemy formation under the pilot's relentless attacks exposed weaknesses in coordination and defensive tactics, prompting a reassessment of Luftwaffe strategies. This reassessment, however, came at a cost, as the Luftwaffe struggled to replace lost aircraft and pilots while adapting to increasingly sophisticated Allied tactics. The pilot's actions also reinforced the critical role of air combat in shaping ground campaign outcomes. By reducing the enemy's ability to conduct effective bombing raids and air interdiction, the pilot contributed to safeguarding supply lines, troop movements, and key infrastructure. This protective umbrella allowed Allied ground forces greater freedom of movement and operational flexibility, factors that were instrumental in the eventual success of campaigns across the European theater. Moreover, the pilot's success had an amplifying effect on the morale of bomber crews. Knowing that skilled fighter pilots were capable of providing effective and aggressive escort encouraged bomber airmen to maintain focus on their objectives despite the risks. The psychological assurance of having robust air cover mitigated the stress and fear inherent in deep penetration missions over hostile territory, thereby enhancing overall mission effectiveness. The disruption caused by the pilot's engagement ultimately served to accelerate the decline of German air resistance. As the Luftwaffe's operational capacity waned, the Allies gained increasing freedom to conduct sustained aerial bombardments and ground support missions. This shift in air power balance was a decisive factor in the eventual Allied victory in Europe. In summary, the pilot's extraordinary day in combat resonated far beyond the immediate tactical sphere. By boosting Allied morale, disrupting enemy operations, and contributing to the broader strategic air campaign, his actions exemplified the multifaceted impact that individual heroism and tactical proficiency could have on the complex dynamics of World War II air warfare. The pilot's record-setting achievement on that historic day transcended the immediate tactical victories and entered the realm of enduring legacy within the annals of aerial combat history. His extraordinary performance became a celebrated example of how individual skill, when combined with technological prowess and tactical innovation, could decisively influence the outcome of a broader conflict. This singular episode has since been studied extensively as a case that underscores the critical importance of pilot training, aircraft capability, and adaptive tactics in modern air warfare. The significance of this engagement was not confined to the tally of 20 enemy aircraft destroyed. Rather, it lay in the demonstration of how one pilot's mastery could alter the dynamics of an entire aerial battle. The feat set a new standard for fighter pilots, illustrating the heights of effectiveness achievable through rigorous preparation and mental acuity. Military aviation institutions recognized that such singular achievements were not merely isolated acts of valor but manifestations of systematic training programs that emphasized comprehensive understanding of air combat principles, physical and psychological endurance, and rapid decision-making under stress. The pilot's story became a foundational case study in fighter pilot curricula, illustrating the synthesis of tactical ingenuity and technological exploitation. Training programs increasingly incorporated lessons derived from his experience, focusing on enhancing situational awareness, energy management, and precision engagement techniques. The example highlighted the necessity of fostering initiative and adaptability among pilots, qualities that enabled rapid responses to unpredictable combat scenarios. By doing so, the pilot's legacy contributed directly to the evolution of air combat doctrine, shaping how future generations of aviators approach the complexities of aerial warfare. Technological innovation also remained a focal point in the legacy of this engagement. The pilot's effective employment of the P-51 Mustang's capabilities underscored the vital role of continuous aircraft development in achieving air superiority. The Mustang's advanced design features, speed, maneuverability, extended range, and firepower, were not merely incidental but integral to the pilot's ability to execute his tactical plans. This recognition influenced ongoing research and development efforts within military aviation, reinforcing the imperative to integrate cutting-edge technology with pilot training and tactical doctrine. Furthermore, the pilot's achievement emphasized the human element as the decisive factor within the increasingly mechanized domain of air combat. Despite technological advancements, the capacity for rapid analysis, creative problem-solving, and disciplined execution remained unparalleled assets. This realization informed a balanced approach to Air Force development, where investment in pilot education and psychological preparation was accorded equal importance alongside hardware acquisition. The broader impact of the pilot's accomplishment extended into strategic military thinking. It challenged prevailing assumptions about the limitations of individual combatants within complex operational environments. The demonstration that a single pilot could significantly disrupt enemy air operations and influence campaign outcomes provided a compelling argument for decentralized command structures that empowered individual initiative. This shift in operational philosophy encouraged flexibility and responsiveness, attributes that have continued to influence Air Force doctrines into the modern era. The pilot's experience also served as a powerful narrative for morale and recruitment. Stories of exceptional individual heroism and tactical mastery inspired confidence among both military personnel and the civilian populace. They reinforced the belief that skill, training, and courage could overcome daunting odds, thereby sustaining support for ongoing military efforts. This inspirational aspect of the pilot's legacy remains a vital component of military culture, underscoring the enduring relevance of individual contributions within collective endeavors. Modern air forces continue to study the details of this engagement to extract lessons applicable to contemporary aerial combat. Advances in technology and changes in the nature of warfare have introduced new variables, yet the fundamental principles demonstrated remain pertinent. Situational awareness, energy management, precision engagement, and psychological resilience continue to be emphasized in pilot training. The pilot's ability to integrate these elements effectively stands as a benchmark for operational excellence. In addition, the pilot's story has informed the development of simulation and training tools designed to replicate the complexity and intensity of real combat scenarios. By analyzing his decisions and tactics, trainers have been able to construct realistic scenarios that challenge pilots to develop similar levels of situational awareness and tactical flexibility. This approach ensures that the lessons of the past are perpetuated and adapted to meet the demands of future conflicts. The legacy also extends to the conceptual understanding of air power's role within joint and combined arms operations. The pilot's success demonstrated how air dominance could protect ground forces, disrupt enemy logistics, and facilitate broader strategic objectives. This understanding has influenced the integration of air power with other military domains, promoting coordinated operations that leverage the strengths of each component. Ultimately, the pilot's record-setting day remains a testament to the profound impact that individual heroism and tactical mastery can have on the course of warfare. It exemplifies how the convergence of human skill, technological innovation, and doctrinal evolution can produce outcomes that resonate far beyond the immediate battlefield. The lessons drawn from this episode continue to shape military aviation, serving as a guiding example of excellence and a reminder of the enduring importance of the human dimension in air combat.